Hello YouTube, my name is Fag. Welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And here we go. Alright, now, we all know Tectone's got banned again over what he calls a bunch of crap. I really don't know what to think about all of it, but I do agree for the point that the people that got him banned should have been banned too. But anyway, let's take a look at this real quick and then get this over with.
You not. I am maybe 15 minutes into my stream on YouTube and Kick so far. I am, let's double check this, day 3 into my ban. And during this ban, I thought, okay, well, there's no way that it's gonna get any fucking dumber. There's no way that Twitch is gonna fuck up again. And let me just lay you some groundwork. So I have now been banned 3 times over the past 60 days. One of them admittedly was deserved. I told a viewer to kill himself. I shouldn't have fucking said that, but to be fair,
yeah, he was wrong for that. And I know that he had certain stages going on at the time that he wasn't thinking straight, but still, you want to avoid saying stuff like that, especially when you're at a point of heightened emotional state and whatnot.
I had a really big tummy ache and he was being cringe in my chat and he was ruining solo leveling and I got a little bit angry, right? We've all had bad days. Anyways, since then, I have never told another viewer to inflict harm on them because I said, oh, that's bad. Skip forward a little bit. I get banned because I call Frogan fat after she said all American soldiers have PTSD. I feel like I'm a broken fucking record at this point. And then fast forward again, 2 women call me a rapist, so I call them whores, and I get...
Now, this is where he got banned at. I think it's his most recent one. You know, I agree he shouldn't have called them names back, right? But at the same time, I think they should have gotten banned too for what they did. But banning people for calling names, that's just schoolyard crap. You know, everybody calls people names every day. It happens all over Twitch. It's not just Tectone, it happens too. A lot of it comes down to people reporting him for it. And I think that's why he's getting banned for it. Do I agree with it? No. Now, yeah, I see people get their butts hurt, but it happens sometimes. That just goes to show how unbalanced their policies are, or policy enforcement. Yeah, I know. It's like the CEO will only ban people who they don't like, right? It's like, for all we know, he likes the ladies, right? And that's why they didn't get banned. But at the same time, if he didn't report them for that, like they reported him, that's kind of a situation I think he's looking at. Not that he would report anybody, I think he's probably above that, and that's why they never got banned. But we don't really know for sure. But I just wanted to highlight this part first before I got into the other video I wanted to talk about before we get into the fun stuff. Because I do feel that he was banned unfairly. But that's Twitch's policy, is not mine, so.
Banned and they don't. So here's a little bit of an update. And this has never been said before on a YouTube video or a tweet. However, I have said this to some of my close personal friends in real life, and obviously my favorite people in the world, which is my beautiful children here in my chat. I love them very much. So a member of Twitch.tv official staff reached out to me. And you may or may not believe this. And there's going to be some things that I'm going to ask you guys to take my word for. And then there's going to be things that I'm going to show you proof of. The thing that I'm going to show you proof of is the most important thing. So the thing that this whole video is about will be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay? It will be. And it's going to fucking make you realize how retarded these people are running the fucking Twitch. It is insane. So I would like to tell you guys that Twitch staff reached out to me. And get this, I got an apology.
Oh, I haven't heard that before. I guess it's a different video from the one I've seen before. I didn't realize Twitch had apologized to him. Will they remove that ban though? Probably not. I don't, cause I know they delayed the unbanning because of the weekend. So I don't know if, oh, it gets worse, pal. Have you seen this video? I'm sorry if you have. I try not to do stuff other people cover. Uh, and I try to stay away from drama too sometimes, or most of the time. So, if it gets worse, I guess let's go ahead and continue and see what else you have to say.
I did. I got an apology. Big, 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 big. Yeah, they said that we didn't understand the matter fully. And they asked me, is there anything we can do to make it up to you? This is all true, by the way. This is all true. And trust me, you will see what will happen very soon. And you'll know it when it happens. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to say what it is because that ruins the fun. But something big is going to happen because I said, okay, if you'd like to make it up for me, then you can do this.
Hi, Dima.
Eye contact.
Are you alright, Dima? Alright, so you go, but you gotta stuff me to take care of. You take care of your real life stuff first, okay, buddy? I just hope you're alright. Alright, let's go ahead and get this over with so we get to the fun stuff. Alright, guys, here we go.
40 of my moderators, and I asked them to compile something for me. They compile it. I have a massive
Yeah, life can get busy sometimes. I hope you're able to get through it all okay. I hope you're doing okay too.
4.5 gigabyte folder, and I say, I would like you to do this. They see it, and they say, thank you for cooperating with us. We'll see what we can do. I say, thanks. Can I get unbanned? They say, of course, just submit an appeal. So I submit an appeal. There's 3 teams. There's 3
Alright, Demon, stay safe.
teams, by the way. This is how the unbanned ban system works. There is the upfront Twitch moderators, and then there is the appeal reviewers, and then there is the people who actually do the bans and unbans. So I talk to the moderators. They can say I can get unbanned. I go through the appeal system. I submit an appeal. It takes them 36 hours. Wait, no. 42 hours to review my appeal after submission. It's supposed to take 24 hours. My appeal was then approved, but I did not get unbanned because now it's fucking Saturday and I got my appeal approved at 11:30 Friday. And
Wow. It sounds like there might have been a miscommunication somewhere within Twitch. Because if he got an apology and he submitted the evidence they wanted, and they told him to put in the appeal to get unbanned, it sounded like somewhere inside Twitch there was a miscommunication. Right? Either that or I hate to say it, but somebody on the band just might have it out for him and intentionally waited till the weekend, which I hope that's not true. I hope it just a miscommunication. Yeah.
They're not gonna unban me till Monday because their bans and unbans don't work on the weekends. So I get to stay banned for 2 extra fucking days because these people don't know how to do their jobs. Now, I just
Now, I wouldn't go as far to say they don't know how to do their jobs. I think it was an honest communication error somewhere. Uh, that's what I'm hoping. I always like to give people a benefit of the doubt if I can. Uh, but it does sound like there was an honest communication error somewhere within Twitch, right?
want to know.
And I can understand him being upset over that, uh, because he was promised an unban earlier. It just taken longer than what he was told, apparently.
Why in the fuck do you need 3 separate teams to do the job of one compartmentalized team? You do not need the talkers to get them to submit an appeal, then you can't read the appeal. Because if you're already talking to them, that's when you make the judgment of when you're gonna get appealed. And then if it's just, then you press unban.
Yeah, that's true, pal. That's true. And he makes a good point here, right? Because that department should be just that department. Um, Now, I'm assuming that the person he talked to was higher up and out of that department, right? That told him that they were unbanning to begin with. And I think one, there was a communication error there, and two, somebody was dragging their feet, obviously. You know, I think there might be somebody in the ban appeal that might have it out for him, but I hate to think that, but it is possible.
Why do we need a 3 separate tiered system to enact justice? Why is something that people's livelihoods not going to be taken into consideration and fixed because it's the fucking weekend? You can't just have it to where if the appeal gets approved, then they're automatically unbanned? How does anybody feel comfortable streaming to this website when the entire foundation is built off of what I would call as a compliment mental retardation? Because how dumb they are, I can't even think of a word to properly describe them. I want to remind you guys, at a point, I was living paycheck to paycheck off of Twitch. Before that, well, I was homeless, right? But regardless, and broke. Because sometimes homeless people have money, and I do need to specify that. Homeless and broke. Because okay, just be real. In El Paso, Texas, homeless people make more money than a fucking teacher, right? Like genuinely. Because I think the average homeless person makes like $29,000 a year off of tips, and that doesn't get taxed. But teachers made like 32,000, but that got taxed, so it went down to like 28,000 or some shit like that. This was a thing back in 2012. It was fucking ridiculous. That shit still blows my mind. Teachers are the most important job in the entire fucking world. Being a good parent and being a good teacher, the 2 most important jobs, because the youth is the next generation, and if we are not taking care of the youth, what the fuck are we doing?
True,
That's a
true.
topic for another video. Teachers deserve higher pay, and honestly, parents should really lock the fuck in and raise their kids right. Stop fucking brainwashing them with Coco Melon and letting them listen to all these fucking woke ass influencers that are gonna mind wash them and pump chemicals into their fucking body at 8 years old. All right.
Right? That's something we have right no control over about the parents' part, right? The parents are gonna raise their kids how they see fit. There's not what we can do about it, but that's the way it is. Uh, but he is making some good points otherwise, right? Teachers do need better pay because they do a hard job that they get very little praise for. In fact, there's sometimes, right, if a kid's doing poorly, the teacher's the one that gets blamed. Not, I mean, the kid could not be simply not doing his homework or doing the work itself, right? But still, the parents will blame the teacher or the institution, whatever school they're going to. And that's just an unfortunate reality we live in. I'm I'm guessing we're out of the meat what I want to talk about. I'm gonna let it true, Mel. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit longer. If he doesn't go back talking about the band, then I'm just gonna stop it there. Uh, I would hate to do that to Tectone because he is making some good points, but I want to stay on topic with what I want to talk about too. We'll let it run just a little bit longer and see if he gets back on topic.
Let's just, yeah, hey guys, how about we just let our kids watch SpongeBob? Regardless, if you are a Twitch streamer, how do you feel safe when incompetency runs rampant when it comes to terms with your livelihood? How do you feel comfortable being like, you know what? I'm gonna all in on Twitch every day for 12 hours. And if you're a VTuber and you show a little bit too much hip, no, I didn't say
Yeah, that's the other part that we're going to be talking about here a little bit. Because today, another big VTuber got banned, and they didn't give a reason for it. So that's the second part we were talking about. I'm glad he's touching on it here. But as far as feeling safe about streaming on Twitch, best I can say, at least for my part, I try my best to follow TOS and steer away from their drama the best I can. Granted, I make an exception every once in a while, like I am now, because I feel like it needs to be discussed. Um, but yeah, that's just the way I see it. I'm going to have faith that I won't get banned unnecessarily, but at the same time, if it happens, you know, not really much I can do about it, unfortunately.
hip, you're gonna get banned for 7 fucking days. And then here's the kicker. You get bans for 7 days, and then you get no ad rev for 3 weeks. Here's the reality of what I
Oh,
will
I
be
didn't
doing
know
when I
that.
return to twitch.tv/Tectone. I will be turning off all ads. I will be turning off all ads because
Basically, he's following Aslan's script, because Aslan doesn't run ads. Um, Although I thought they forced him to either run ads or run subs. I thought they forced him to do something. I don't remember what it was. I know for the longest time, Aslan doesn't run ads. I don't know if he's still that way or not, so.
I think the viewing experience on Twitch right now is fucking miserable. Punishing your viewers with 6 minutes of fucking ads every single time they boot up a stream is fucking insanity. And I will be real, I'm bitter as fuck because when I lost all my ads were still running on my channel. And do you want to know why that is, lovely people of YouTube and Twitch and Kick and Twitter? Because while ads were running on my channel, guess who was collecting all the revenue?
Let me guess, Twitter's taking the whole amount. Yeah, I know, YouTube has enough ads the way it is without cranking them up. I agree with you there, Mal.
No, wasn't me. It was Twitch. They ran ads on my channel that I was getting 0% of, and they took all of that. Do you want to know why there's so many people coming at me right now? And there is only one other man who has covered my vindication. Asmongold, by the way, love you, dog. Appreciate you. You the fucking man. Because they're lying to you. Do you know how many people on the internet have lied on me to give me this reputation? Let's be real. Let me give you my proper descriptor. I am a fucking jackass. I am brash as fuck. And honestly, I'm probably a little bit too autistic because even though I like telling the truth, there are some things that I maybe just shouldn't say that I say anyways. I am a dickhead. I am an asshole. I am a jerk. But the problem is, all these dipshits online want to label me as a criminal. Are
Yeah, that's true, pal. That's true. At least he's honest.
you guys noticing how in 2025 I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger? So the lies that people tell about me have to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to know why that is? Because these people are horrified of people who tell the truth. Why the fuck you think they go on Asmongold so much? Because that's another motherfucker who tells the truth. Why the fuck do you think they go on the unsubscribed podcast so much? Because those are other motherfuckers who tell the truth. And are you noticing?
I think a lot of it also, right, is a lot of the stuff they talk about can be viewed controversial. So they're farming that. What they're doing is they're farming the drama of what they're doing. Trying to get views for themselves, drama farming. That's what they're doing, really. You know, I think a lot of them might not have any feelings either way. They just want the money for the drama aspect of it, which is sad because we start thinking about it as monetarily. You know, instead of as, hey, I'm doing this because I want to, because it's fun, right? Then becomes a whole different ball of wax. Me, I stream because I find it fun. You know, I like interacting with y'all. You all are the highlight of my day. At the same time, if I ever do make money, well, I'm making a little bit now, but you know, that just an added bonus. It's not what I'm after. You know, I'm after more of the experience of hanging out with you guys and sharing my thoughts with you, and you know, sharing funny videos I find, interesting videos I find with you and stuff. You know,
How one side fight with the truth and the other side fight with lies? I call Frogan fat. Truth. I call Denims a whore. Truth. They call me an abuser. False. They call me a criminal. False. Unless you're talking about arson, maybe I killed one person with a death note, but honestly, that had to have been a coincidence. There's no way that I'm a celestial fucking being. But this is the reason why people are going crazy, is because the amount of falsified information that is running rampant on the internet in 2025 is insane. And the amount of mental wherewithal you have to merely inform people of what is right and what is wrong is insane. Do you know how mad it makes people when you all refer to me as a martyr? Do you know how many videos I've seen of people losing their mind when all I say is I'm a good person? Do you know how mad that makes them? Let me give you the number, guys. 37. 37 videos I've seen. I've watched them all. I like watching content that hates on me. I like it. Because sometimes
and see, hey, about watching that stuff, right? I don't know if they intentionally fit into the drama that they're farming off of him, but it also gives him a perspective of what they're talking about on him too. Me personally, I don't care what people say about me. I want to do what I'm going to do, and they don't like it. It's on them, I guess. Right? It's just a matter of perspective. I probably the best way you put it, I guess. Now, I haven't watched all Tectone's videos. I watched some of them. Uh, Just for a simple fact that I'm not a big drama person. Though usually when I watch him, it's topics that I care about, you know? And like this, like, I'm sure you guys seen other YouTubers or Twitch people, content creators cover this. And I thought it was kind of important, especially with the next part I'm going to talk about next in this segment.
I learn, but usually I just get a good laugh. It makes these people so mad when people call me a good dude, a good person, a good streamer. It makes them so mad when you say he died for our sins, he's a martyr. It
Well, and that goes too, right? Because usually the people farming the drama are also the haters, right? And you're going to have people on both sides, no matter what you do, that either love you or hate you. And that's just the unfortunate reality of the world, no matter what you're doing, whether you're online or offline, right? And that's what happens online. You're more aware when people are talking behind your back because it's everywhere. It's out there for everybody to see. Whereas in the real world, you know, it's one of those things you hear and hearsay.
drives them insane. Guys, I have seen a 58-year-old, bald, beardless man get so angry, and you guys know who I'm talking about, so angry he started drooling with how rent-free I live in this guy's fucking head. Just to name one. Because this is their strategy. They lie about me, and this is how they deem me a bad person, because they believe the lies of other people. I want you to understand this on how crazy this is. These people are so obsessed with taking me down, their number one strategy is weaponizing a liar, where anything they say is the truth and anything I say is a lie, when there has been zero proof of me doing anything wrong. Nothing. You want to know why that is? Do you want to know why it's been a year and there's still been nothing? Because to quote a great man, Thriller Bark, One Piece, Best Straw Hat, one of them, Zoro, the Samurai, nothing happened. It's, I agree, chat, a gaslighting circle jerk. And this is happening to me. And I want you to understand to how many other people that this has happened. They make a mountain out of a molehill. Anything you say is a lie. Anything going against you is the truth. They are full of shit, deceptive fucking liars who are desperate for analytics, so they believe anything and they post any rage bait to fit a fucking narrative so that way they can get their numbers up.
And that's true. That is 100% true. And these people are ready to die on that hill they built for themselves, too. You know, that's one thing I like about Tectone and Admiral. Even though I don't really cover them a whole lot, I appreciate the fact they speak their minds, you know. They don't try to hide behind a bunch of crap like a lot of the people do.
They're parasites. They're leeches. They're failures. They're clout chasing whores, begging to God that you click their OnlyFans because they're too untalented and lazy to get a real fucking job. Like anybody should give a fuck about you. I see dumbass OnlyFans bitch talking about, I lost 20 pounds. I'm so proud of myself. My weight loss journey's been incredible. Bitch, you got liposuction. You work for nothing. You have no purpose. You have no drive. You have no determination. You pay to take shortcuts while real people in the world work to where they get at. But you take any opportunity. You will lie to get to the top. You will fuck anybody to get them on your side. You are all pathetic. I will be here forever. And you want to know why that is? Because I don't got to suck the dick of anybody. Because I worked for everything and I was handed nothing. And the handouts that I got honestly made my life harder than they were before. You think that everything that I've worked to get can vanish like that because your career came like that. After you sucked a couple dicks and you got a couple surgeries. My career was building this shit from the ground up by my fucking self. Going live every day, ignoring the fucking hate comments no matter what. Whether it was the retards from Ark Knights, these motherfuckers who thought I was cheating at video games because I was too fucking good, to all of the pussies who were mad because I didn't like your favorite video game. Eat my ass. And every single time I go live, every single time I get a new subscriber, it drives y'all fucking nuts. So suck my dick. You think I'm going anywhere? Yeah, fucking right. Bitch calling me a grifter. I've always been pissed off. See you on the next one. Appreciate y'all. Like,
Yeah.
comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.
Yeah, he was definitely raging dirty and now I can honestly say that I've had the opposite experience of Tectone on that part, right? Uh, so I don't know if you still find it or not, but there used to be a game called Earth and Beyond. I showed you guys a trailer for it before. But I was so good in that game, they mistook me for a dev or a game master. And I thought that was a great compliment. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was, who was it? I can't remember the name of the publication, but they did an article. If you look up Earth and Beyond and then put in slag, uh, you might find it. Like I said, I don't know if it's out there. It's been so long ago. That's if you don't have to check it out. It's just something personal I found interesting. All right, now for the second part of this. The second part of this, then we get into the fun stuff. I promise. All right, this one, Twitch is silencing VTubers right now. This came out just a few hours ago. All right. And like I said, it kind of ties in with what Tectone talking about. So I want to watch this and go over it with you guys. Uh, give you my thoughts and feelings on it. Because being a VTuber myself, it does kind of involve me a little bit, even though I am new to this. So let's see what that say.
So it seems like Twitch really want VTubers to start multi-streaming because it seems like another VTuber has been targeted by the Twitch staff for absolutely no reason at all, and it's becoming a
Yeah, Noki got banned. And from what I've seen on X, they did not give her a reason. Maybe she has too much milk. Who knows? I mean, have you seen Milky?
really
Yeah.
big problem now. Whenever I first covered the first issue to do this with Lucy Pyre, I thought maybe this was just a one-off thing. I thought maybe they just bended the rules a little bit to see what the outfit, just to see what they could do in terms of just like banning someone for an outfit or attire or whatever. But it seems like been a big trend of VTubers getting banned by Twitch recently, and I think a lot of people have started to have enough because again, it's pretty terrible. Now, this is actually coming from a VTuber called Milky Ways, who is a very big VTuber. They got 100.
Yeah, pal, you know what I'm talking about. And I think that's probably why he got it. He did mention something about VTubers getting banned for multi-streaming. So that is a possibility, which means I might have to take out my chat box up here. I might take that back out and go back to the Twitch chat box. Uh, we'll see what he has to say.
60,000 followers. They're with Mythic Talent, and again, they had a lot of followers over on Twitch as well. And yeah, essentially, they have been banned. This is over on Yeet saying another VTuber.
Yeah, see, here is Loki's banned, right? And typically, when they're banned, they say why they're banned right here. And from what I understand from what I've seen, Milky doesn't know why she was banned. They might send her a private email sometime later, but yeah.
YouTuber goes down at Twitch. This time it's Milky. Reason for ban unknown. So it's another one of these situations where we don't know exactly why they got banned. Now, Lucy even mentioned with her ban, if you guys remember. And the thing is, with Lucy's ban, no one actually knew exactly why she got banned. She even mentioned herself, still no information on exactly why. So we're gonna have to drop that. We're gonna have to hope for the best on Tuesday. I love how Twitch communicates so clearly with its creators.
Yeah, there's what's funny sometimes, Zeb. How's it going, buddy? Uh, we're looking at the VTubers getting banned for no reason. Now, I think Lucy did find out why. It's because of her swimsuit model. And apparently it violated her TOS. Even though they got cam girl that showed the camera up there, woohoo. But yeah, I think Milky just got banned for having too much milk.
Creators and has zero double standards, truly the ideal streaming platform. And then also, yeah, you can see here, these are the outfits, or one of the outfits out on the right that she was using. And again, people thought maybe it was something to do with that, but it was still never confirmed by Twitch staff, and they still never told Lucy what exactly she did. Now, the same actually goes for another VTuber called
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? They're banning flesh tubers, and they tell them why they're being banned. But here recently, this recent round of VTuber bans, you ain't getting them reasons. You're just getting them 24-hour banned with no reason. And that's kind of concerning.
Ellie, who I made a video on literally yesterday, who has been unbanned now, but they also got banned for absolutely no reason at all. And this one's even more stupid because you can't even really find a reason why, you know? It's one of these things where it's like, you know, Lucy's was like, okay, maybe there could have been some rule bending here to say that this attire wasn't appropriate, even though it does actually follow TOS, which we went through in the video. But with Ellie, it was just completely out of the blue. No one knew why they did this, and no one knew why this is happening. And now it's happened once again with Milky, who doesn't really know either what is actually going on with this kind of stuff. And, you know, this is reason for ban unknown. And it just seems like Twitch has got this thing against kind of VTubers at the moment, and it's pretty terrible. And it's been a thing that's been going on for the past couple of months, but not to this kind of extent where, you know, VTubers are getting banned every single day. Now, I can guarantee you...
Now, I can only assume this has to do with multi-streaming, what you mentioned earlier. If that's the case, then my new chat box is going to definitely have to go. Which would be unfortunate for everybody, but yeah.
That Milky is only going to be banned for a day. You know, I feel like Milky is going to be back literally tomorrow and be unbanned, because that seems to be the usual pattern with this kind of stuff, is that they always get unbanned after a day and never told what exactly they did. And obviously, yeah, Milky replied to this saying no, or sorry, moo.
Well, I never really watched her streams, so I couldn't tell you either. I watched clips of her. I do watch other VTuber clips. I find them funny sometimes. Some of the antics they get up to is funny.
Saying, sending lots of love, Milky. What in the world is happening? This is from Zentreya, obviously a very, very big VTuber over at VShoujo. And yeah, they said, thank you, Zen. Twitch is being very sus right now. And again, it's really weird that this kind of...
Now, here's the problem, okay? I say they're targeting VTubers like this with no explanation because VTubers like their anonymity, right? We don't want ourselves out there be doxxed like normal streamers are. You know, we like to keep private to ourselves as best we can, I guess. But so they think that VTubers are the targets. Now, what they're gonna end up doing, like in the case of Milky here, right? She is a member of a corpo. And sooner or later, they're gonna ban a corpo with a lot more influence that hasn't done anything wrong with the same stupid, well, no explanation. And they're probably gonna end up getting sued over it. Right? And I don't think they could just ban a willy-nilly. I think they have to have a reason to ban somebody. But that is Twitch's cavity, so that's just speculation on my part. True. I just don't want you guys going after anybody who are watching this video, though. Okay? I'm here to look at the situation, analyze it, but please don't attack anybody. That's all I ask. You know, don't harass nobody, don't attack nobody.
stuff is happening. They're saying, not my girl Milky, free her. Obviously, yeah, that's Ellie, one of the other VTubers who got banned, saying, not my girl. They said, no, not Ellie, you too. Oh my god, bro, Twitch. said, hope you get unbanned soon from Matara. So there's some really big kind of, VTubers actually kind of responding to this and taking the side of
Yes,
Milky
pal,
here,
you do.
because it seems like there has been some kind of attack going on towards VTubers at the moment, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. I feel like, a lot of VTubers are getting fed up of being constantly banned over on Twitch, and obviously I've talked about the other situations going on with like Tectone, for example, saying, the word whore over on stream, and apparently that gets him banned for an entire week. And he even revealed the fact that recently he was supposed to get unbanned because he got his appeal, approved, and, they said, okay, you can come back. But they couldn't unban him because it was a weekend, which is absolutely ridiculous. And obviously
I'll
it kind
have
of
that
shows you
fixed soon,
the
guys.
absolute kind of professionality of the kind of Twitch staff, is the fact that, oh, they take the weekends off, so we're not going to unban you. I mean, it's just a literal simple click of the button. I don't think they have that many people to unban, that somebody needs to clock in for the whole day of the weekend or the whole days of the weekend to actually do that. And the same goes for...
And quite honestly, they could probably do that from remote too, right? Because I'm sure they got remote workers that work from home. It's just as simple as typing in command / unban whoever. So they could have done over a weekend to remote process if they really wanted to.
It seems like they're not very professional in terms of communicating the problems that these VTubers have on Twitch. Now, obviously, so far, we've had no reason whatsoever, as I said. But the thing is, maybe there was something in the TOS. And if there was something in the TOS, then Twitch should be able to provide that reason to them and explain.
All right, Spike. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you get to feeling better. And I know how much dentists suck. Right. Enjoy your nap and thank you for the lurk. And I really hope you get feeling better.
Explain to them why, so they can avoid doing it in the future. But the thing is, they're not even doing that, which makes me think that, a lot of this is even more Twitch rule bending, and even more of this kind of like bending every single like TOS term to try and get them banned, and just avoiding telling them what the reason was whatsoever is one of the easiest ways to kind of avoid that confrontation and to avoid the kind of asking the question of, why the hell did I get banned? When if they don't reply, well, there's going to be no problem because, again, they don't actually explain it in the first place. And obviously that is such terrible behavior from Twitch there. They're supposed to be a professional company, and it seems like this is getting worse and worse every single day, especially whenever they, start to pander and be favorites to some other streamers, for example, like Hassan, who, is allowed to go on stream and say some pretty horrible stuff every single day and still not get banned for it. And even if he does get banned, he gets to pick which...
Seems like the only time a song gets banned is when a government agency threatens Twitch. That seems to be the only time a song gets banned. It's usually a one-day ban just to appease people. You know what I mean? Probably. I could almost guarantee that, pal. Alright, because you got Higher Mouse, which is top, pretty much VTuber in the US or English speaking. And then right below her, I believe, is Shy Lily, which is one of the biggest. Shy Lily is indie, right? Yeah, I think Shy Lily is indie, but she's like one of the biggest indies. You got those two big ones, and plus you got many more big ones up there. And it's more likely the corpos, right? The keep better corpo VTubers, because I imagine they got a legal department. They could probably go after him if they really wanted to.
Day he gets banned, he gets to pick, oh, I'll do it on my day off, oh, I'll do it on this day, which is pretty crazy. And then meanwhile you got these VTubers who are obviously trying to do their job. They're trying to do, this is their job at the end of the day. I feel like it would be Milky's job. Maybe they got another job.
Hi, Oasis Shade 4, thank you for joining us. Welcome in. Hope you like the show. We're talking about VTubers being banned for no reason right now. We'll be getting on to the fun stuff here just a little bit, I promise.
I don't know, but obviously they got 160,000 followers. I mean, I feel like they are probably full-time, or at least somewhat pretty reliant on their job here. And it's one of these things where you're taking like the livelihood away from these people for just some petty reasons, and meanwhile a lot of these other streamers are allowed to just go ahead and keep saying this like kind of stuff to do with all the just politics, and I don't want to get in too far into it, but you get what I mean. There's so much favoritism going on that apparently these VTubers have to be the one to fall for this, which again is just absolutely horrible, and it just keeps proving further and further that Twitch has a massive agenda against VTubers, and it just keeps getting worse and worse as
Well, thank you for the follow, Wasted. You like Wasted Shade or Wasted Shade? For some reason, my new chat box isn't showing me the new follows. I have to work on that. Anyway, I'll work on that tonight, see if I can get it fixed. But yeah, thank you for coming in. Thank you for following. How's your day going? Hope you're having a great day.
the days go by, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's just one of these things where I don't think Twitch is going to necessarily change their stance on it, but I do think that a lot of VTubers should consider looking into multi-streaming, looking into other platforms. Now obviously, not saying they should leave Twitch altogether, although to be fair, some of them might be forced to soon if they get banned, but yeah, I feel like people
There you go. It was just delayed. She's wasted. Sorry about that. I don't know why it was so delayed like that. Yeah.
should start looking into streaming on Kick, streaming on YouTube, things like that. YouTube streaming has always been pretty big in the VTubing space, which I think is actually pretty good, and I think it is partially because of how Twitch treats them and how Twitch has been over the past couple of years towards VTubers. But there are still some people obviously that stream solely over on Twitch, so I think doing multi-streams, things like that, can fix that issue, and then stops that kind of disruption that you get from a Twitch ban. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't have to be like this. You shouldn't have to resort to this kind of stuff. It should be the fact that Twitch actually sorts themselves out and doesn't ban people for such like petty reasons like this, because again, it's stupid, and people are going to get outraged by this. And I feel like, I don't know why they decided to do this in the first place. I don't know why Twitch decides they woke up one day and just like, okay, we hate all VTubers now, let's just go ban them all. I don't know the reason behind that, but it seems like it is happening more and more, and that is now 3 VTubers on the list as of recently. Obviously, there's been many in the past that has now been banned over on Twitch, and it's crazy, and I will keep this, series, I guess, going the longer that this keeps going on, because I feel like this isn't even the last one, with a lot of this coming out. I feel like I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow, streamer bans is going to be on my timeline saying this VTuber got banned, and it could be someone even worse. And I feel like Twitch is slowly pushing their luck, because obviously a lot of the streamers that they banned recently, for example, Ellie, Lucy, and Milky, they are all very similar in size. They're all very similar in terms of followers, in terms of fan base, and they're all pretty big, but they haven't hit any of the big VTubers yet, like your Shy Lilies, like your Silver Veils, like people like that, which it would be interesting if they were to ban one of them, because it would bring even more attention to this kind of drama and to this situation at the moment, that maybe, something might actually get done about it. But hey, we'll have to wait and see if Twitch kind of pulls the trigger on that one, because
Yeah, not seeing be why people get banned or they get reported for something. Because, it appears that people do the same thing but never get banned, right? It is because that nobody reports them for it. So it's hard saying. It really is. But it's actually the point I was talking about now, right? Where sooner or later they're gonna ban their own VTuber, and then shit's gonna hit the fan.
it would be very interesting if they did ban someone that has an even bigger fan base than some of these people. But again, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, it's crazy what is going on at the moment. And I will continue to cover all of this stuff going on, and to try and expose what Twitch has actually been doing in the background towards a lot of these
Yeah,
VTubers,
you
because many
missed.
people can get blindsided by a lot of the Hassan drama or whatever that's going on, and focus purely on him and the people that are against him. But also, whenever you think, in the background with these VTubers that are being banned, it just gets even worse for the, state of Twitch at the moment. But yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all.
I have a new one there for you guys too. It should be on there, I hope. Anyway. I know somehow I can make it targeted me. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm at to consult with other VTubers. But anyway, that was the drama stuff that I wanted to talk about, right? Because in a way it kind of affects me being a VTuber.